fuckers, you got Sean, Wright, and Stanzy back at it again with the Hard Right Now podcast. What's up, Stanzy?
A.K.A. Aaron B.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I almost forgot your actual real name. I don't think it matters anymore.
Do you want to remind people how you got that? I got that nickname, I guess.
Stanzy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron stands with a fist in his ass. That's right.
Stanzy for short.
We're gonna get you a shirt with Stanzy on it or something.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Well, I mean, tell everybody every time we go virtual golfing what your name is.
Stanzy.
This how they know you.
Yeah. My peoples.
So what's up, dude? How you been?
Oh, it's been a kind of a weird week, just me and the kids.
Oh yeah, your wife's gone for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, gone to see the boyfriend and
Yeah.
get satisfied for a week for...
It's been pretty quiet here.
Yeah, that's all right.
A lot of takeout.
No complaints?
A lot of takeout.
That's all right.
No.
You're cooking?
I'm not a cooker.
Is that a word? I'm not a cooker?
I'm not a cook. Yeah, I guess it didn't.
You're a keyboard warrior.
Just add ER on it.
I'm not a cooker. Well, that's all right. I wish.
Yeah, I wish.
Empty house sounds like a dream.
Well, not empty. The kid's still here, but that would have been the dream.
Right.
Yeah. How about you?
Same old, man. Same old, up and down. Still have the odd stomach issue day. Yesterday was one of them. Just sucks. You have to... I try not to book that many appointments right now because I'm pretty much like the most unreliable guy on the planet. I mean, you felt that, right? How many times have we talked about, like, we were supposed to record and I just... It sucks. Some days you wake up and you feel fine, and yesterday I just I was getting ready and just to leave the house and you start throwing up. It just feels like you're pregnant.
I was going to say.
I thought you were pulling out. I didn't think I was pregnant. It feels like morning sickness some days, but
Jesus.
You just have to live with it. Some days you're a go and some days you're not.
When's the, did the vagina grow in yet?
Look at you, like you're just a kid at Christmas hoping, eh? Not yet.
Oh.
Working on it.
I just thought I'd try
I had to order one in the mail.
Okay. Thought I'd try something different.
So what are we talking about today there, Stanzy?
This topic's a good one for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had different journeys, like almost completely different journeys. So today we're going to talk about physical health.
Physical health. Health and fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Fitness nuts in your mouth.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, to say we've had different journeys is an understatement. You took health and fitness serious at a young age, and I just played sports and didn't really think of it that way. But as I got older, I mean, I said it before, and I told you a gross story. I was super fat, and I just... I remember at the time, you know, life just...
How fat were you? What was your max weight?
I got up to 311.
Holy shit.
311 pounds. We'll flash that picture up again when I was at my worst. But
what's it look like when you see a scale with that number?
Well, do you want to know what's funny is... I didn't even own a scale at the time, but we bought a Wii Fit. And when you first sign in to do your profile or whatever, they have to weigh you. So all the kids went, and then I jumped on it, and I'll never forget the Wii actually went, oh! when I stepped on it.
No way.
Yeah, I swear to God it did. And yeah, it showed, the Wii Fit is, if you want to feel bad about yourself, it doesn't matter what you weigh, get on it, because it'll tell you that you're obese. But I was, like, the scale stopped, and my number kept going for obese. And yeah.
Wow.
So that was actually, believe it or not, one of the events that started me finally, because at that time I'd tried so many fad diets and I'd done all the crap that everyone tries. And then you hear people talk about, it's a way of life, you got to make it a way of life. But
I remember you in the Fat Bastard Challenge.
Right. Yeah, so I ended up winning that. And it was just an unhealthy sprint to see how much you could lose in 2 months.
Because you were wearing, like, garbage bags and running and...
Well, I didn't wear garbage bags. I wore my hunting clothes.
Oh.
There was another guy that was doing it, but I lost 48 pounds in 8 weeks.
That's insane. 8 weeks.
Like, just so unhealthy, though. I mean, my heart was in so much trouble going up and down the way it was.
Damn.
But yeah, I'll never forget. I got so many fat stories. I used to work a lot of shift work, and so my sleep was all over the place, and I used to get really bad acid reflux. A lot of fat people know what I'm talking about, but so one night I got up with really bad acid reflux, and I ran into the bathroom, and I just stood there and opened my mouth, and it was like dripping.
Ew.
Acid was like dripping out of my mouth. Yeah, those are moments when you feel like, okay, I got to do something here.
Wow.
And it wasn't long after that I went to see my brother's first fight. I knew he had been. I thought he was just kind of messing around, training amateur mixed martial arts, and then he told us he had a fight, and I think it was near Ottawa, just outside of Ottawa, and so I went, and that day kind of changed my life. Were you there that day? Did you come with us for his first fight?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I think that was the day we drove in your little black piece of shit car, and they were throwing candy at us and stuff.
My Scion.
Yeah, that's right. So you were there.
Yeah.
But that day, I remember just watching these guys, and some of them were my age or even older, and I just my head went back to my younger years, and I just said, I think I could do this. And I know there was a few people that laughed at the idea, but something clicked that night, and I was fortunate enough to meet my brother's coach at the time, Dan Levesque, Seafood Dan, and just a 27-year-old kid. I was 10 years older than him. But over the next 8 years, that kid helped change my life and my thoughts towards what realistically you can achieve fitness-wise, and what makes more sense than fad diets. But we can, there's lots of fun stories we can talk about, but your story is a little different.
But it is a cliche, like, because all these fad stuff, but it has to be a lifestyle.
Right.
Like, any normal thing you do every day that's good for you, like, why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
But easier said than done.
Well, I mean, we can start talking about all the reasons why it's hard to live a healthier lifestyle. I mean, financially, right off the bat, it's cheaper to get fat. It's cheaper to buy fatty foods or fast food, or healthy food is expensive. It's just the way it is. But I think the reality is there's so many things that I did want to talk about today, and let's start with body image. I wanted to start with how, because I'll talk about how I've viewed myself over the years, because one thing I will tell you, once you're fat, in your mind you're always fat. I still see a fat guy when I look in the mirror. I developed fat guy habits. I used to not be able to sit here unless I had pillows over my stomach, and it was like a security blanket, like you were covering up your fat.
Hiding it.
There's so many things that I developed over the years as a wall to protect this unhealthy body image I had, but I knew I was destroying myself.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen some of my eating exploits.
Oh yeah.
And candy, I never laid off candy.
Always had pop in your hand.
Yeah, well, at one time I drank a minimum of 12 cans a day.
Holy shit.
So I would have a stack of it in my home.
What was the drink of choice?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Really?
Yeah, just sugar and carbonation. I didn't care.
Wow.
I would generally Pepsi or cream soda or something, but I really didn't care. I would drink it all.
That's gross. Cream soda?
I mean, now I drink 99.9% water now, and all those drinks taste disgusting once you've been away from them for a long time. But I'll tell you, going off pop alone, I had the worst headache of my life for probably 2 weeks. That's how addicted to pop I was.
It makes you wonder what's in there.
So I would get up to go take a piss in the middle of the night and be a little thirsty, grab a fresh can of Pepsi cold out of the fridge, chug it, and go to sleep.
Oh my God.
You wonder how you get to be 311 pounds.
Fuck, yuck. That sounds gross.
But back to the whole body image thing, it's funny. How many women do you know that have, or how many people do you know that have a healthy body image? There's probably like, to me, I think there's like maybe 4 alive on Earth.
Depends when I go to the gym. There's a lot of people that are staring at themselves in the mirror.
Well, but that's not because they have a healthy body image. Healthy body image, people don't need to stare at themselves.
There's literally...
This is just my opinion.
I don't know. There was this dude yesterday, and I think he stretched for 1 hour and just stared in the mirror at himself the whole time.
Right.
Just stretched. He didn't lift a weight.
Right.
I was like, what is going on?
But I bet you that dude deals with being self-conscious.
Well, it's hard now with everything, even online. Like, it's so friggin' touched and photoshopped, and they're putting an image out that's, like you said, it's almost impossible to achieve.
Well, but that's always been a thing, right? Magazines, billboards, ads.
But it's even
TV
worse
commercials.
Now.
Well, but
compared to our childhood.
But in all fairness, promotion of healthy body image, whether you're fat or not, is more than ever too. So it depends on how you look at it. Like, I think we've gone too far saying it's okay to be fat. I do.
What, Victoria's Secret?
Well, I'm not even going to get into specifics and examples. I'm just saying, Bill Burr talked about it. Like, oh, you're so beautiful. Like, oh God, she's disgusting. Like, you know what I mean? But it's true. Let's just be real for a second. The fact is, none of us feel good about the way we look. So how do you get true perspective? I actually had talked with Anita about this. How do you get a true perspective and be at least content with how you look and where that sits in the importance of your life? How many people have you seen like, oh God, I shouldn't be eating this, right?
Yeah.
So I went through years of that. Years of just like, oh my God, I can't. I should just start rhyming off some of the mindset, my Mike Tyson, mindset. Like, I would be eating a meal and be dreaming about my next one. I would eat a meal when I was so full from my last one that I could hardly take a bite, but just eat it all anyway because of what time of day it was or that it tastes good. I trained my body to not care when you're full. Like, I lived in full pain every day.
It wasn't a meal unless you were in pain.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck.
I think it was Louis C.K. that said he was at his doctor and the doctor said, at what point during a meal do you get full and stop eating? And he's like, stop eating? Who stops eating when they're full? But it's true. That is a way that people eat.
I hate that feeling now.
Oh yeah,
when you get
it's
older.
the worst feeling on earth.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get older, it's not like in your 20s, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, you're dealing with metabolism slowdown,
hormones,
all that kind of stuff, and you're also dealing with what you do with your time. Once you start having a full-time job and kids, I mean, my point about body image was I had to take some time and get some real perspective on what I can live with. So can you live with you eat junk food as a snack? You know, so everything in moderation. Can you live with that and maybe you hang you still got a spare tire or a dad bod.
Yeah.
But for me, my fitness goals have changed over the years. I mean, I did go through the years of fad diets and just trying to look thin again. But the reality is who are we trying to impress anymore? Are you trying to impress anyone with how you look?
No.
Because like we haven't talked much about you, but you were like an amateur bodybuilder, right?
It for me, it's more about me.
Mm-hmm.
But bodybuilders, it's like a reverse anorexia, where they're a pretty jacked dude, but when they look in the mirror,
they seem small.
They just see skinny
imperfection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep going and going. Then if you do it naturally, you hit a plateau. Your genetics, your body build, everything determines the size max you can get and strength and all that. Then guys start looking into steroids and all that, chasing just these people, influencers we watch in our world.
Did you?
Did
Let's answer that
No.
question, because
No.
I know you said people thought you did. So
People thought I did, but I had kids at 16. I couldn't
afford
afford
to be on the junk.
I couldn't even afford whey protein, let alone steroids.
And I know those fucking tiny little nuts of yours couldn't afford it either, right?
No, I can't get any smaller. It'll be gone. I got an innie instead of an outie. No, I dove into the weightlifting world. I was trying to figure it out yesterday if it was the end of grade 10 or like in 11. I think my brother was cleaning out one of the apartments he owned, and somebody left a weight set. And he asked me if I wanted it. So I was like, yeah, sure.
How old were you, sorry?
Maybe end of grade 10 or start
So 27 for you?
grade 11. Yeah. No, not quite.
Like a couple weeks ago?
But I just fell in love. I went down there, started lifting by myself in my parents' basement.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the iron bug big time. And I mean, when you start out, you start seeing a lot of gains quick. Then people at school were making comments like, Jesus. And I love the strength part of it. Like, I kind of fell more into powerlifting. And then later on, I was getting bored of powerlifting, and I thought about going bodybuilding, but the idea of like greasing up and standing up there in a little bikini bottom, like, it was kind of gay. Right? No offense if you're a bodybuilder. But.
Right. And you said in high school, people started saying stuff. Up until that point, people used to call you strong because you smelled like shit. So you just wanted to be called strong for a different reason.
Yeah, I wanted to be the better of the strong. No, but when I kind of entered high school, I should have covered that. I was always a cross country runner most of my life.
Which is hard to be a bodybuilder when you're doing that.
So when I got into high school, like, I was barely over 100 pounds. I was always the shortest kid. So when I got the weights, and it just was just piling on quick, the muscle, my strength, everything. Then people started in high school saying that I was on the juice. And I just laughed because I was like, well, obviously I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
At working out.
Right.
If they think that. But
did you waste any time defending it?
No.
Good.
And I got to a point though where, like, I was getting big and it was uncomfortable. Like, just
like wiping your own ass kind of thing?
Wiping your own ass. Just being that big isn't really functionally very good.
Because I've seen pictures, like, you weren't ripped, right? You were just big?
I went through phases. So for my body and my height and everything, once I got to 200, that's when, like, the 8-pack started disappearing. Genetically, I think my max, like, being cut, plus a little bit big.
Because of your hobbit height and stuff?
My hobbit height, yeah. 185
right.
was kind of the magic number. But when you're in the powerlift and bodybuilding world, it's always about mass. Because if you look in the magazines, these guys are 290, shredded, competition, like,
right.
Just not even achievable.
Right.
But when you're younger, you're not even thinking of that shit. You're just trying to get bigger. You want to eventually see that 200 on the scale.
Well, so I suppose, like, Ronnie Coleman was big back when you were...
Dorian Yates.
Right.
Ronnie Coleman was just before Dorian.
Right.
But I don't know, Dorian Yates, that guy had a cobra lat spread. Like.
So you were all into that? The gay stuff there?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you get a job as an oil boy for a summer?
Oh,
it was like I wasn't even working.
Can you believe they pay me to do this?
Yeah. But you never competed or anything, did you?
I did one powerlifting competition when I was late teens or early 20s. And that's where I got so discouraged because everyone's talking about cycles and and I'm just like, I don't even know what these words mean.
You're right.
And then I was like, yeah, I'm not willing to do that. I'm just doing this for health, fitness, and just some confidence.
Mm.
But I wanted to touch one thing on, I guess, like the avenue you took and I took are a lot different. But from a weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding stance, I think it's really good for people and their confidence because it teaches you to set goals.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can remember, 495 of the deadlift and hit that plateau and you keep working. And when you achieve it, like the excitement, and then you're on to the next one.
Well, so here was some of the struggles I had with setting goals. So, I don't know if you remember, but a couple times I competed in a 5K race.
Yeah.
So there was one year I made the decision in January and the race was in September. So I wanted to lose weight. And so I signed up for the race in September, which was 9 months. And I trained every single day. And the day that race was over, it was like flipping a switch for me. And I just, let's go get pizza. And, if I didn't have a goal, I was standing still. And standing still always meant getting fat.
I'm surprised you never got into weightlifting then, because there's never ending goal.
Well, yeah. I mean, I lifted weights for functional reasons, like because I played football and stuff like that. But I lift weights now. I mean, we can talk about a little bit why you do it in your 40s and then older is, correct me if I'm wrong, but studies show that there's a relation between muscle mass and basically your age. Like, the key to youth is through muscle mass. And we're not talking get jacked.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking light weights. Just use them, flexibility.
Yeah.
I even heard, I don't know if you heard this, but I can't remember where I read it. But so how many times you hear stories about old people, oh, they fell and broke their hip?
Yes.
So apparently that's not true. Apparently when you're old and your muscles are weak, their bones get brittle when they get old, and they actually break. Let's say when they're going to step down a stair, their hip would break, and that would cause them to fall.
You lose density. So
right.
There's all kinds of studies people could look up and say that especially for older people, they recommend some kind of weightlifting.
Yeah, muscle mass is the key to youth.
Because it'll save all those just slipping and your hips broken and
right.
Yeah. I've had some car accidents where the physiotherapist said, like, if you weren't weightlifting, this was back when I was powerlifting.
Right.
And said you probably would have been screwed the rest of your life. But because you had that mass and just the way you take the accident, and I was back to the gym pretty quick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I have an older brother. He's hardcore weightlifter his whole life. Still. He did, he had a bench press competition for the military.
Oh, yeah.
And he just was organizing it. And he hadn't lifted heavy in like a decade or more. And the guy that won it just said, oh, come on, we hear you used to be a power lifter, come out. He ended up benching 425 and beat the guy that won the competition.
They won it. There's always going to be somebody better.
But he's been through a lot of health stuff. And
so that was a question I've been waiting to ask you is, how much of your health problems today do you relate to that?
The way we eat as a bodybuilder, power lifter, I think that contributed probably to diabetes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I never even thought of that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
I know diverticulitis was one that some guys like Brock Lesnar had it, and
I've been tested for it a few times now.
Right.
Because I have a lot of stomach issues and.
Because those guys just pound calories, right? High fat doesn't matter. Just
like 10,000 calories, you're a puss. Like you should be eating 30,000.
Man, I was ahead of my time. I just needed to be lifting weights. Man, just imagine the gains I could have made if I actually picked up a weight.
Yeah. I think all those
10,000 calories for breakfast back then.
Those 12 cans. No, but I was, when we were talking about this episode and we were kind of preparing, I was trying to think of, one thing I remember though was the goal setting, and it helped me in other aspects of my life, work, relationships, like, because I was setting goals in all aspects of my life.
Right. Which is good, but what the point I was going to make about me was that I realized, and this isn't like all that long ago, that my goals had to change, that my goals couldn't have a finish line. So finish line is where it's just like losing weight. Everyone who've crashed diets will get to that goal. I remember getting to a goal weight and going to get pizza that night. Like, I deserve this. Such a ridiculous mentality, right?
Yeah.
But what happened was, like, for me, eating poorly for so long, like, I ended up having my gallbladder taken out. It was just,
Wow.
And I'm in my young 40s and they're starting to take parts off me already. So all that stuff, I actually looked at my kids one day and just said, I'm going to do everything I can. I haven't even seen a grandkid or anything yet, and I'm already having surgeries and taking pills every day, and
yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that wakes you up.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention. So my goals now are functional fitness. So I don't give a rat's ass about my stomach or how I look. I'm not trying to impress anybody, but I would like to still be able to play sports, and lift weights and stay as young as I can for as long as I can. Avoid injury.
Yeah.
We haven't even got into the fact that a few years ago I got my testosterone tested and found out that at the time I had the testosterone level of like an 80-year-old man.
Of a woman.
So the doctor was saying things like, you're at risk of osteoporosis, which is, I think it's like the disease that old people get and it makes their bones brittle.
Yeah.
So I had to start a program, which isn't easy either because it's a lot of up and downs with it. But after a couple years, I finally got it to the point where it's leveled off and I'm feeling good. But that's a whole nother discussion. Is for men our age, I firmly believe we should all be getting our testosterone tested. How you treat it is up to you, because there's a bunch of different ways. But my brother was the one that actually did his, and I talked to him because I was feeling horrible. I mean, we saw each other a lot, like just you're dragging ass every day.
Yeah.
And that explains it. So, turns out I've had so many concussions in my life playing sports, that my body's ability to produce it just doesn't work anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. The doctor, when it was just done over the telephone, first thing she said was, how many concussions have you had? And I was like, I don't remember. But she said, okay, well, that's almost like exclusively probably why you have this problem.
Wow. I've had 3 or 4 concussions, I forget. I'm one more hit from being a mushhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the testosterone thing? I know you've been down that road.
Yeah, I was in this kind of same boat. I was feeling like crap, always tired, no sex drive, like just everything that kind of makes you man.
So I showed you my booty hole, and then you were hard as a rock.
Half.
I think there was a comment in one of the videos, like, how do you... Something about anal. I said, as soon as I dress mine up, Aaron's all in.
Yeah.
In like Flynn.
I had a better response. Really I try to help our viewers.
Right, yeah. And I'm the mush brain guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were testosterone. You were...
Oh yeah. So I was feeling like that. I wasn't getting the results I wanted from my doctor. Like, not even a test. I just wanted to be tested to know what my number was at.
Right. Then, if you ever do go down this road, just know that every doctor is different. Some of them, I don't know what it is, Some of them are for it, some against it.
Well,
But the reality is, it's you, it's your body, you know how you feel. There's lots of information out there. Just don't overlook it.
well, I went a different avenue and found a third party to help out. All legal. And
Out of the back of somebody's trunk.
started with like the cream and stuff, but it did nothing. And it showed in my results, and I was just like, I should at least try on my own before just trying to get a pill or an injection. Or so just started working. Plus, I had the surgery, so I had lost 6 months with my arm.
Right.
So I was trying to get some strength back. But going back and lifting weights, I did get retested, and I've gone up like 103 or 107.
Just organically.
Just going to the gym and lifting weights.
So that's what my body lacked. So when I first got tested, they put me on Pregnol or something like that. Anyway, it was supposed to kickstart your body's natural ability to produce testosterone. So I took it, and still I was lifting weights and doing everything and feeling good, but then I got tested and my number went way down. It was almost 0 after that. So that was when it was testosterone or nothing. So, but I would have never known had I not just paid $50 and got my blood screened.
Yeah.
And it's just something I would have never thought of until I start seeing other people take care of themselves, and then you start going through your own health issues.
Well, and I think that was what we were trying to say is you don't know how important testosterone is. The thing that makes you man. Function, like sleep, everything. How you handle, sex, yes.
Yep.
But I don't think a lot of guys really know that after 30, it just keeps dropping percentages every single
Even
year.
before that.
Yeah, depends. Like, I think mine, like lifting weights, I can tell you how I felt like in my early mid-20s.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
But just imagine you're a man who's got an office job all day who gets 0 activity.
Yeah.
Your testosterone's probably going to plummet.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
And then the cards are stacked against you. Just every year after 30, it just keeps going.
Right.
And then, like you said, I remember you telling me, your number for your testosterone was equivalent to an 80-year-old male.
Yeah.
And we see how 80-year-old males like.
Yeah. And like I said, the doctor was actually concerned because I was only 42 at the time, give or take. So I'm extremely. It has been a challenge to get to this point, and you have to take charge of your own health. You can't leave this fully to doctors and nurses to help. They're there to guide you, but they can't come to your home and put the injections in you and stuff. You actually have to take charge of your own health when it comes to that kind of thing.
Should we go through some of the benefits
Of
physical activity? Because related to your body.
Right.
So you probably heard of serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mood-boosting brain chemical. People depressed usually have low levels of serotonin. You don't feel like getting off the couch to exercise, and millions take antidepressants to increase serotonin levels. Some studies show exercise is as effective as a prescription antidepressant.
Right. So let's actually talk about that for a minute. So, as somebody who's living that every day right now, the most confusing thing was when I first went off, and like just everyone kept saying, you got to exercise, but don't work out. So even my doctor was like, exercise is key. And I think what they're saying is you got to get moving.
Yes.
So movement, when you're in depression, and I talked about it earlier, so my stomach's out of whack every couple days now. Used to be every day, now I'm every couple days. But your body's chemically out of whack when you're in depression. So serotonin is one of the chemicals that they talk about all the time. You got to get those levels up.
Yeah.
That's why they say, I told you my doctor loved that I was golfing, and I told him how it made me feel when I golf. So that's increasing my serotonin when I go play 4 hours of golf, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly why he wants me doing it. I get social activity. There's all sorts of benefits to it.
And you feel great after, eh?
And I feel amazing. But I think it was maybe 2 months in, I did an arm workout. Super light, maybe half of what I was doing before, like a year ago. Super light, but I only was able to do a few sets, and I shook. I shook like Muhammad Ali for a couple hours. And so, of course, my next doctor's appointment, he laughed at me, and he said, "You have to lift weights like you're an 80-year-old man. So start super small and but keep your body, your movements,
Yeah.
and just work from there." It's when you go into a depression, you have to rehab your body. You do.
Yeah. Yeah, because you feel differently, and even if you do work out, like it seems like you're sore longer.
Yes.
You don't recover
Right.
quickly.
I don't know the chemistry behind it all, but it's absolutely true.
Probably cortisol. 'Cause that's the stress
Right.
hormone.
So there's a chemical that gets pumped when you're in fight or flight, which is what depression is, right? So you're getting whatever the chemical is. Again, I'm a dumbass, but when you work out, it pumps more of that. So then you cry and you shake because there's nowhere for that chemical to release, and that's why they suggest that you don't work out too hard. So basically, as I'm going, like I still exercise daily, and even if it's just a walk. Some days it's all I can do to walk, but I still have to get that walk in because I'll feel a little better after I'm done.
Yeah.
Because you get the muscles and joints. Something as simple as stretching makes you feel. I stretch every day now. It's that simple.
Your booty hole.
You've been stretching that. Well, either you got a big dick or a small one. What are we talking about here?
Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on a.
You probably heard about dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the motivation and reward brain chemical. It's dopamine that gives you the motivation to achieve something of value or that makes us feel rewarded. Working out increases dopamine.
Right.
There's another.
I mean, after running 5K, you always feel better.
Yeah.
I always just thought it was because it was over.
Maybe not the first one.
Well, right, but I mean, when you're in it and you're training for them and stuff like that, you always feel rejuvenated. I used to, before working a 12-hour midnight shift, I would run 5K the hour before going in, and the energy that I got from that used to last me until probably 2-3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one, I'm gonna don't let me murder the pronunciation.
Oh God.
Norepinephrine.
Yep.
So it's both hormone and a brain chemical. It makes you more alert and focused. Also boosts memory retrieval.
Huh.
Can be more productive. Studies show ADHD kids, after only 20 minutes of exercise, the children were better focused and scored higher on tests.
Wow.
And I can think...
What was that chemical?
Norepinephrine.
Epinephrine. Yeah. I mean, you said something about memory. I mean, when, again, back when you're in fight or flight, you have... I'll give you an example. Today, I got up, had a shower, and at the end of it, had to do the whole thing over again because I couldn't remember if I did my hair or the soap. Yeah, that's what you got to live with.
Oh, my God. But I guess the point is, we've all been there. We know it's hard to get your ass off the couch. You got all 101 reasons why you don't have time to do it. But like you said earlier, we're talking like 20-minute commitment. A few times a week to start.
Again, I'm always going to come back to set realistic goals for yourself. Things that you know that you can actually achieve, but they're not easy to achieve. Don't think that you're going to look like somebody on TV or your favorite celebrity. Genetics are a weird thing.
Yeah.
We all curse our genetics, but you have to be content at some point, or you're always going to be in misery when it, like, who wants to look at themselves horribly for the rest of their lives? You just have to be content with the fact of what God dealt you.
Yeah.
And deal with it.
No, that's true.
But have your treats, have your vices or whatever, but just everything in moderation. If you're just know, if you're willing to cross a line when it comes to those things, that you're going to have to give something up at some point. It could be health, it could be every time you cross a line that you know you shouldn't, within reason, there will be a price to pay eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. And when do you want to pay it?
Yeah. It's really that simple.
I want to go through a couple more, make sure I didn't miss anything.
Sure.
So kind of, I guess a recap. Feel better, function better, sleep better. I guess we didn't really talk about sleep. But also helps maintain a healthy blood pressure, reduces inflammation, improves blood sugar, and strengthens bones, which we talked about earlier.
Right.
Prevention and management of diseases as cardiovascular disease, cancer, and diabetes. That's what I'm hoping. I'm excited for my next appointment to see my levels for my diabetes.
God damn, the things that we get excited about changes as we get older.
It does. It's like, oh.
I want to see how my beaties are at.
What's my score?
Where's my beaties?
Yeah.
Where's the beatus today?
This one, no. This next one was pretty much what we wanted to bring up about physical health, but reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety, enhances brain health, and improves overall well-being.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't we talk about this once already about going for a walk?
You know what it makes me remember? What you just said a few days ago. On
that
how
your ass stinks?
No. Don't put your nose that close.
What did I just say a few days ago?
About, like, even this week, I'm like jonesing for golf.
Mm.
Like that feeling that you feel after.
Well, you're chasing whatever chemicals are pumping that make you feel good, it's funny, something I noticed last week. I've struggled to eat almost daily. I am so hungry after playing golf. I ate 3/4 of a pizza the other day. Remember I gave you some?
Oh yeah.
But I ate 3/4 of that pizza, and I don't even enjoy taking a bite of food right now. So it's starting to happen more often where I feel better, and I'm noticing now that I'm paying attention. It's after those moments where you feel normal again for a few hours, and then all of a sudden your body gets normal functions like hunger and
yeah. No, and your metabolism with exercising and working out gets healthier.
Right. And then my doctor will say, do that as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
I tried to get a prescription for it, but
yeah, it'd be nice if we get paid for it. Can help you live longer. No shit. Teaches you discipline, setting goals and achieve them, makes you more confident. We already talked about that. Build strength, boost energy, manage weight.
Mm.
So that's a body image.
Right.
I'm sure we would all love, like, I wish my titties were back up here instead of down here.
Right. Well, again, I am so dead set on the message being just be realistic about your own expectations about how you're going to look. Manage that.
Yeah,
I lost over 100 pounds, and I still feel fat. So what's the unhealthy thing in that? It's my outlook on it. So it's things I don't think I'll ever stop working on that, but body image will destroy you. Confidence. How do you get confidence when you look in the mirror, and how many people walk by a mirror and can't look?
Oh, it was quite a few years. Yeah, I know. I didn't because if you didn't acknowledge what you seen, then you didn't have to do anything with it.
I still have issues with taking my shirt off. There's tons of guys out there like that.
Was it that cock tattoo we put on when you passed out?
Tattoo.
The trap stand?
You didn't have to like lay it down and draw your own profile.
Oh,
motherfucker.
I thought that's from the heart, man.
Jesus, what are we even talking about now?
And then the last one we covered: working out releases endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine.
Right.
Yeah, that word, and results in a calmer, less stressed you.
Well, I mean, we both have parents that are retired. I'm happier than a pig in shit to see my parents go taking their walks and on the go all the time, and I can see them happier, and they just have energy, and I mean they're like 140, both of them.
Yeah.
So they're doing pretty good.
140.
There's a guy I see who runs, and he has to be pushing 100. He looks like skin and bone.
Around here?
Yeah, a little town just around here. His head's crooked. His legs are bow-legged. He waves at everybody, but he's got to be close to 100 years old.
Wow.
And he runs every day. Doesn't matter the weather.
That's the thing.
I'm not saying you have to run marathons and all this other stuff that we were talking about. It's just about keeping your body moving, like keeping your muscles active.
If you're not moving, you're dead.
If you're not moving, you're standing still, right? But it's nobody thinks that everybody needs to get gym memberships, and a lot of this stuff you can do for free.
Yeah.
Just get moving, make it a priority.
Yeah.
We put so much energy out there for everything else that is expected of us, but who's going to give you the expectation you got to get your body moving every day?
Well, and I think
it's only you.
I think the way the episodes have rolled out, we've talked about mental health. Mm-hmm. We've talked about stresses like parenting. We talked about sex, just communication, relationships. So I think it was perfect timing to get into the physical side. Mm-hmm. But what all that can do to affect all those other things too.
Oh, of course. Do you know the best headspace I was ever in were the days when I would have a good half an hour long heavy bag session in my basement. And just, you talk about releasing endorphins and all that kind of stuff. Oh my God, you're just happier than a pig in shit.
I can remember staring at the clock at work.
Waiting to go work out.
Going, I'm done at 2:30. I can't wait to go hit the gym, and I got my whole workout planned out, and I'm gonna lift this weight. And
I thought you were staring at it because you couldn't tell time, but
like hieroglyphics or something. What is that?
No, this is good, man. I think this was something that we needed to talk about. It's your needs for exercise are going to change through the years.
Yeah.
It all depends, obviously, on activities. I mean, if you're an athlete, obviously, most of them know how to work out or want to work out just to make it better. But most people aren't athletes, and especially once you retire. I mean, how many people have you seen slide downhill fast once they don't get out every day? And even just the social aspect of it, get out, walk around. Hey, fuck you, neighbor.
Jesus.
You know, like, but you're just getting out and about, and there's so many benefits to it that it's, again, just stay within your limits, and nobody's trying to tell you to go win weightlifting competitions or anything like that, because that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Who wants to do that shit? But it's just about healthy mind, healthy body kind of go hand in hand a lot of time.
Yeah. And say, like, even the mental side of it, maybe the physical might be the thing that helps you get through some of the mental. Like, It's weird how they're so intertwined.
But it's like I said, how many times did we talk ourselves about going for walks when you're at your worst?
Yes.
Mentally.
Oh, I thought you were talking about...
No, when you're at your worst mentally, it's like, I got to be physical. Your body's pumping chemical into you, and you got to release it somehow. You could Chris Benoit the whole thing, or you could just go for a walk.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It has to be released. So
Yeah.
that's why there was nights where I'd be 2-3 hours into a walk, and it's just not enough. It's like there's not enough street.
He didn't get the release.
Would you like a release, Don? But anyway, this was a good episode. I appreciate it, man. This was a good one.
I hope we didn't come off too preachy, but
No,
I
I
think-
mean, we know the struggles.
yeah. And it's funny, I was talking, I know we're just going to be done here, but a lot of things are perspective and not like procrastination. I'm horrible. But it's easy to think about these things than to do.
I'll think about it tomorrow, dude. Fuck.
Yeah. But once you start doing, you're like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Mm.
And it's not as hard. And just remember all the excuses. Like, anybody can afford 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So why not do that to feel better?
Well, or just try it. Just find something that works for you. Just then set a goal. We did say set goals, but just make sure the goals are achievable. You know what George St. Pierre said one time? His biggest fear in life was that he was going to achieve all of his goals.
Wow. Yeah, because then you're like, what's my purpose now?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening to me. So if you do set a goal, just make sure you continue to work towards something, or because sitting still, it doesn't take long.
No.
You'll get old in a hurry.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, until next week, thanks for watching again. Hit that like and subscribe, and sorry for Stanzi and the way he looks. That's just what we have to deal with, all right? All right, love you guys.
Peace.